नमो अरिहन्ताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो आयर्याणं नमो उवजायाणं नमो लोये सव्वसाहूणं मङ्गलं भगवान् वीरो मङ्गलं गौतमो गणी मङ्गलं कुन्दकुन्दार्यो जैनधर्मोऽस्तु मङ्गलम्. Every soul wants to be happy, and we see the attempts that the soul is making to become happy. The attempts are done in small, small things like people are sitting and they get tired in one posture, so they change their posture. Simple things like we get hungry and we feel the pain of hunger. We want to achieve something, and that desire drives you to achieve something. Until you reach that goal post, people are always uneasy or unhappy. So, everyone wants to be happy, and happiness is the ultimate goal of every soul's life, not only human being, but also animals, heavenly beings, everybody. But why do we feel, or why is it seen that the goal post of becoming happy is always receding backwards? Like you're trying to achieve something. Once you achieve one goal, we are always looking for another goal to reach there. It seems like you can never reach your ultimatum. You can never reach the ultimate happiness. And the foundation reason behind all of this is something called as mithyatva or delusion. Think of it this way. When you have a person who is drink a lot of alcohol, he doesn't realize what is correct, what is wrong, and he is always trying to run behind things which is wrong, and he never reaches there. Or another example is you have a deer running in a desert. Far away, he or she sees a mirage. He sees water, so he's running there to drink water. But it's actually the sand which is reflecting sunlight, and there is no water there. So once the deer reaches there, he sees water even further, and then he keeps on running, and eventually, out of that never-ending goalpost, his life ends. Aren't we into that boat? Aren't we into the attempt of reaching an eternal happiness, but we never reach there? And the foundation reason is mithyatva. Let me explain you by a small story. There is a widow, a young widow with a very young girl, very small child actually, and she has no other relatives. So she houses a housemaid to take care of the child and herself, and they live happily. One fine day, the widow realizes that she is suffering a terminal illness, and the illness is such that she will not have long time, so she is going to pass away soon. Now she is very worried who will take care of the young child and ensure that she gets good education, raised well, all the money or whatever she had is taken care well so that the child can use it. Eventually, she finds no other support but her maid, who is helping her out, and they make friendship over a period of time. So she explains the situation to the maid and trusts the maid that she will take care of the kid, also take care of the money, and give her good education, etc. So she makes all of that arrangement, but she always had a fear in back of her mind whether the maid will actually take care of the girl as her child or whether she will be treated more like a servant. So she wrote a secret letter and she hid that letter in an old photo frame, hoping that eventually at one fine day the child will find this letter and know the reality if it is portrayed in a different fashion. When the widow is counting her last breath, she again takes an oath from the servant that she will take care of the child and passes away, transferring all of her fortune to the maid. But her worst fear actually came true. The maid became greedy and she took all the money as if she is the owner of the house and the money. And she told a story to the child that the child's mother was a servant of the home and the actual maid was the owner of the house. So now the child is raised as if she is a servant's child, and she has to do all the housework. She is given bare minimum education. Uh, the child is also feeling that, oh, this lady is so nice. She's taking care of me even though my mother passed away, and I am only servant of the house. She actually grew up feeling gratitude for the servant who took away her money. Eventually, when she grew up, one fine day she is cleaning the home and she is looking behind the old photo frame, and she suddenly finds this letter. Letter written by her widowed mother, who was the real owner of the house and owner of all the wealth. She learns that she is actually daughter of the owner of the house, and all the wealth actually should inherit to her, and the servant took it away by cheating. So now she realizes the truth. Isn't this similar to our story? We feel like a servant to this body, to the situations that is around us. We are constantly driven by our goals or motives that the situation puts in front of us. For example, we feel like we have to take care of the body, because if the body is healthy, then I am healthy, I will live long, I will feel happier. Is happiness really related to the body? No matter how good care you take care of, no matter how good care you take of your body, the body will never stay healthy. It will always change on its own depending on the circumstances. Not everybody is the same, and if everyone is taking care of the body in a similar way, ideally it should behave in the same way. But does it actually happen? Never, right? You try to take care of your hair, you try to take care of your skin, of your overall body, muscles, etc. It doesn't behave the way you want it to behave. The hairs are always going to turn white, eventually, or gray. The skin will wrinkle as you age. The body will not stay healthy even if you wanted to. So, what is going on? We are actually a soul, and body is a different substance. Every substance behaves on its own. But because of the delusion, or because of the wrong belief that I am the body, I'm trying to control the body, or I'm trying to control how it behaves. I want to tailor it as per my wish. But it doesn't actually happen that way. Similarly, the situations around us, the family members around us, you would wish that your child or your parents or your siblings, wife, etc., would behave the way you want them to behave. They would treat you differently than how they treat you now, but it doesn't actually happen that way. They will have their own mind, they will have their own wishes, and they would like to do things in their own fashion. For example, your child may want to study the topic that he or she likes, but you may want to do things differently. And one gets unhappy, or one doesn't feel good when the child doesn't agree to our expectation. So, mithyatva is actually foundation to all of these unhappiness. How? Mithyatva means wrong belief. The foundation start, or the most fundamental belief that we have is I am body, this is my family, these are my home, these are my clothes, these are my money. Everything is my, right? But if we start believing that every substance is different, they have their own entity in this universe, they come with their own transition through time, they flow in their own time zone. Every substance changes with time, and they have their own way in which they will change. They will not change as per my wish or my expectations. If we start believing this fundamental small principle, then we will not have a very strong expectations or very strong conviction to change something in our way. and that will make our life easier. If we start believing that I am soul, then that will give you the real happiness. You know that the body is going to change its nature, and that will not make you unhappy, because that is the nature of substance. They keep changing. So the body will change on its own. You will change your thoughts on your own, and you will still have that understanding that yeah, different substances are different, and it's not in my control. Mithyatva or wrong belief or delusion. This is the most fundamental sin that every soul is committing, and because of which we are doing a constant circle of life and death since eternity. There are four types of life forms: human beings, animals, heavenly beings, and hellish beings, or Manushya, Tiryansh, Dev, and Naraki. Every soul is continuously going around in these four types of life forms depending on their punya or pap. But why is Jeev doing punya and pap and constantly going into these life forms, which is, by the way, is the house of constant unhappiness? It's because of mithyatva, or it's because of delusion. If one would start understanding the nature of the universe, the nature of myself, the nature of soul, then one could stop this cycle by stopping the punya and pap. If one has one knows how to really stop the karma from coming, then one would be able to uh, control or curtail this constant cycle of going into four types of gati, or four type of life forms, and would eventually find a path to salvation or ultimate happiness, which is called moksha. So mithyatva, wrong belief or delusion, is at the fundamental core of every unhappiness in this universe. At the same time, getting rid of mithyatva or getting rid of delusion is at the fundamental solution of becoming ultimate, of attaining ultimate happiness or moksha. So we have learnt about the basic definition, what is mithyatva. We have learnt the reason for mithyatva. We have learnt what does the mithyatva causes and what kind of effects it has, and how to take care of mithyatva or get rid of mithyatva so that we can eventually achieve the ultimate happiness. In the next session, we will go in further depth of this mithyatva or delusion. We will look at different types of mithyatva and what are common examples of different types of wrong belief or delusion that humans have in our day-to-day life. Thank you very much. Jai Jinendra. We will finish with a small Jinvani Stuti. हे जिनवाणी भारती तो ही जपो दिन रैन, जो तेरी शरणाग्रहे सो पावे सुख चैन। जावाणी के ज्ञान ते सूझे लोकालोक, सो वाणी मस्तक नमो सदा देत हूँ तो। बोलो देव शास्त्र गुरु भगवान की जय हो। जिनवाणी माता की जय हो। कुनकुंद आचार्य की जय हो। पूज्य कहान गुरुदेव और भगवती माता की जय हो। सत्य सनातन दिगंबर जैन धर्म की जय हो।